Welcome to Zidam Astrology. Join me on this journey for your tarot and patra readings, your birth charts inclusive of chakras, crystals, and runes. Sign up, share, and subscribe. Okay, all ascendants of the fire trine being Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. This reading is for you for the period August 1st to the 21st, 2022. And the first card that we have here, giving your situation and what you are currently facing, comes from the Hanged Man, and the deck that I'm using shows it as the Hanged Woman. And this is a situation or ambiguity. You're trying to play for time or probably dodge responsibility, but you need to give yourself completely to the cause. In the tarot, the Hanged Woman represents limits. Being in a place between worlds is difficult and stressful. You are hanging there in the balance and you don't know if to fall or if to pull yourself up. So a time like this, when you are waiting for a new job, may represent limits to what you can do or what you can say or what you want to project. Whether you're preparing to move to a new place or just waiting out a bad situation, limits requires a certain level of grace and surrender. You are embracing difficulties and uncertainties that can bring you lessons and insights into your new pathways or in correcting old pathways. This card can indicate letting go of feelings towards an ex, a relationship, or letting go of feelings towards a job that is toxic. It can also indicate you letting go of rigid preconceptions about your ideal partner. This card is also a good symbol for surrender, as to let me understand that I can't go further with whatever project this is, and let me leave it for a while or abandon it or look at it as a new perspective. Give it some time. Taking time off to be alone can help you to see things from a new perspective. So if you're in a relationship, you may be looking to see how to move on and take it to the next level. The hanged man or woman, as it were in this case, denotes a slowdown. The appearance of problems and undesirable factors are appearing towards you and you don't know what to do with it. So you are hanging there just looking at things in a new way because you are upside down. It's not that you are looking at it straight on. You want to look at it differently because you want a different outcome. The card personifies, freezing, delays, a suspended situation. You can only wait and hope for the best. But this card also shows a dependent position. You look around at others and you're focusing on their choice rather than your choice. You feel that your hands are tied and you are unable to change the situation, but you need to sacrifice something here so that you can look at what is happening to you and where you need to go. You need to look at it as this card suggests, in a different perspective. So whatever is happening with you for the period August 1st to 21st, take a step back and look at it in a new position. You are hanging in the balance as to which way you want to go. And what led you to this position? What influenced you? What is the heart of the situation? And the heart of the situation comes from the Page of Cups. In this deck, it's the Princess of Cups. And it is all about possibilities, good news. A page card, it usually means that you just thought of or started something new, but you aren't experienced enough to go all the way with it. So you are looking to do something new. The hangman is telling you, take a new perspective, and here you are looking to do something new, but your hands are tied by your inexperience. And the Page of Cups is often a message that your subconscious is trying to deliver to you. The pages are messengers, while the cups represent emotions. And the Page of Cups is telling you that, you know, you are experiencing some kind of emotions, probably from your childhood, that you are reflecting on your childhood, and some things in your past probably were left undone, so that they are affecting you at present. So you need to deal with it, and you are struggling a little bit to find your purpose, and you're feeling a little that you have not achieved much. But that is your thought, because that is an emotion, so that a Page of Cups is telling you, go back to your roots, get in touch with your inner child, and pull inspiration from your young self. You were happy when you were younger. You were there was a period in your happiness that you felt that you could have done anything when you were younger. So that in order to make the right choice, seek it within your childhood, reflect on your childhood, reflect on your past, and learn the lessons from the past. The Page of Cups really indicates that you will receive good news, regardless of the actual message. The Page of Cups usually relays positive information. So embrace the opportunities that are presented to you. And if you find that you are in a position, or find that an opportunity has come to you that you did not expect, then reflect on it and understand that this is an opportunity to grow. So the Hanged Man here is giving you that opportunity to grow, and the Page of Cups, or Princess of Cups, is telling you, deal with your emotions from the past so that you can use this opportunity that is being given to you. And this is the heart of the situation for you. And then, what is your character, you and your attitude? What are the factors you should consider? And it comes from the moon, and the moon symbolizes a time in your life when something is not what it appears to be. Again, it goes back to the Hanged Man. Everything is in balance. You are looking at something with a new perspective. The moon symbolizes that some things may look wonderful on the surface, but underneath there are secrets. There are hidden um, there are hidden issues that you may not even want to know about. That the mysterious forces at work, however, can help you achieve success. And remember, the Hanged Man and the Moon are external cards. They are the major arcana. And with the major arcana, there is nothing you can do to control what is coming. This is out of your control. So that your attitude right now is, you are letting your imagination run away with you. Don't let that happen, because the moon is all about your intellect, all about you. And the moon usually appears in readings when you are kind of uncertain about your destination or the path that you want to take. And again, it goes back to the Hanged Man. Take time to ponder. Something happened along the way, and as the Page of Cups said, it happened in your childhood. So take time along the way to reflect and review what happened that's affecting you and not giving you that confidence to take this new path, or to look at things in a new way. You feel that you're groping your way in the dark with only your intuition and your inner sense to guide you, but this does not stop you from moving forward. The moon is a card of intuition and spiritual forces, and what the moon wants you to know is that your dreams and intuitions take you forward. So what were you dreaming about when you were younger? What does your intuition tell you right now? Believe in yourself. The moon is a psychological card that projects your fears into the present that will affect your future. So your emotion is playing a part here for you, not to grab that new perspective, not to understand that you need to look for the happy place in your past, to look forward. Thoughts and feelings from the past that you have kept inside are causing overwhelming inner disturbance for you. That is what the moon is about. As a result, you have negative blocks in your personality, which makes you feel a little anxious and fearful. So you need to let go of the mental blocks to allow the positive self-talk to happen, and interpret those messages that are coming to you from the unconscious. And what is the advice that the guides want to give you? It's the Four of Cups. So you are a little disinterested, you are a little disillusioned, you kind of have an apathy about you right now, a little bit of detachment, you're withdrawn, depressed. The Four of Cups can suggest a time when you just want to be alone with yourself and your thoughts. So that this is again going back to the Hanged Man. And the Hanged Man is all about you being by yourself. You're hanging there, but you're very comfortable. There's no struggle with you. You are balanced. You are not fearful, because you have things in control, and the Four of Cups here is telling you that you are shunning, invitations to contact friends and families. People accuse you of being in another world and you're hard to reach, but that is what you prefer at this moment. So this card goes right back to the Hanged Man, also the situation that you are facing. It acknowledges that you are feeling low and depressed, and that you definitely a little bit bored and apathetic. So this may just be a passing phase, but then again, it may be a sign of more, Maybe the shine has gone off on all those things that brought you happiness in the past, and you just don't feel the same way about them anymore. So is that when you reflected on the Princess of Cups or the Page of Cups? Is that what you're feeling? That is what it's telling you, that, why are you just looking at things in a negative way? The moon has secrets, yes, but you can deal with them. The Four of Cups is again about an emotion. So the Page of Cups, the Four of Cups, it's dealing with your emotion, your character, and the situation right now is being influenced by external factors. So that the outcome of all of this, where you will have the resolution, is coming from the Three of Swords, and this is really heartbreak. You need an emotional release. You need to get the heart to get to the heart of the situation. You need to communicate. You need to understand, because this is about gross misunderstandings. It's about deep sadness. So the outcome of all of this, if you continue in this pathway of not reflecting, of not dealing with the hidden secrets, of not taking the chances and looking at things in a new perspective, of being apathetic and bored, it's going to bring you heartbreak. And it's when the Three of Swords appears in a reading, it really suggests deep trauma, deep heartbreak, grief, loss, and it tells you that the pain may be so intense, you might feel as though someone has stuck a dagger in your heart. And this is 3 daggers here, so it's really overwhelming, and the suffering represented by this card is not confined to one area of your life. So its present can suggest anything and everything that cuts you to the core. It could be the loss of a loved one, it could be illness, it could be separation or divorce, a broken friendship, family disloyalty, betrayal, a job loss, a result of an exam, a failure, or even the loss of a legal case. So in order to come out of this a better person, it is important that you do not deny this pain. It is important that you confront it, that you work through the experience and let it wash over you. Be patient with it, so that look at it in a new perspective. And as I said, the Hanged Man and the Moon are external factors that you can't get away from. You have no control over those things. So it's going to happen, and you just have to deal with it. You just have to suck it up. So sorry, Fire Trine, but this is what it's all about. You have no Wands card here to tell you that you would have the energy to deal with anything. It's all about your resources, your physical self, your mental self, that is going to bring you it's going to bring you heartache. The Princess of Cups and the Four of Cups deals with the Anahata chakra, and that's your heart chakra, you know. And this Three of Swords is dealing with the Manipura chakra, which is all about, you know, your gut feeling and your core, so that at the end of the day, you know, the Suits of Swords deals with communication, you know, and this card can suggest, you know, a vicious argument too, you know, a conflict between three or more people, a falling out between friends, you know, hurtful words from pent-up feelings and anger may leave you regretting what you said, or you may be on the receiving end of insults and, you know, gossip remarks that really hurt you. So that there is bound to be a highly charged atmosphere, and all involved will be tense and, you know, easily provoked. So that deal with whatever you have to deal with from the past. Your new perspective is coming to you. Accept it. The secrets that you have, you need to confront it head on, and your emotions are coming through here. You have to come out of that apathetic, that lethargic, that boredom kind of feeling, so that you can deal with the heartbreak, because you are going to have heartbreak here, Fire Trine. This period is not going to be an easy emotional period for you, but you have a heads up. You understand that it is coming, so that you are going to deal with it as you see fit. Take this message to heart, so that the outcome for you can be minimized, it can be limited. It, you know, it would not be overwhelming you, where you would make mistakes that will affect your future. So Fire Trine, take a heads up and gird your loins. As you know, Bhagwan plays a great role in my life. I always thank him for bringing me to this period where I can transfer knowledge and share my research with you. I hope that all has been well with you and continue to be well with you, and that you understand that I wish to share and transfer my knowledge. I thank you for listening. I thank you for sharing. I hope that you can subscribe and sign up to my blog and my channel. As you know, I have started to leave a tutorial for you after this slide, so that you can understand why I do what I do at Zidam Astrology in terms of the trine concept. So that you will find 3 slides after this one if you are interested in learning my vision and learning the method and my analysis, utilization of the tarot and the Vedic astrology together to bring you this reading of a trine concept rather than an individual concept. Then do continue with this video in terms of looking at the final 3 slides to learn more at zidamastrology.com. Thank you so much, and a reminder again, sign up, share and subscribe. Thank you so much. Okay, this is just a synopsis of the fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, and some of the characteristics that they bring for us. You know, fire is active, confident, assertive. You know, the fire signs can't sit around and wait for something to happen and have to get up and do something. This makes them the most daring signs. You know, they tend to have a lot of energy. They're very impulsive and hot-headed though, so that's a downside of it. And the fire signs, as we went through, are Aries, which is the most energetic of the 3, Leo, which is the most warm, and Sagittarius is optimistic of the 3. And like fire itself, you know, the fire signs can be passionate, dynamic, and temperamental. It can keep you warm, but it can also do great destruction, because it only takes a spark to light a forest fire, and the ashes can regenerate itself from the air. So a single spark can set off an entire forest fire. So fire signs, you know, they need to be nurtured and managed carefully. And this is the trine that I use in Zidam Astrology, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, because when you activate one, you activate all. They are in a trine. Okay, this is your tutorial. As I mentioned to you in this video, that I'm going to leave a tutorial so that you can see why I have formulated the trine concept to read horoscopes at Zedam Astrology rather than read individual signs from Aries to Pisces for you. And I've found in my research and in my reading and from my teachings that there are commonalities between the tarot and the Kundali, which is your birth chart in Vedic astrology. So that these are the commonalities that have aligned together, that have created a method that will utilize the tarot and Vedic astrology to read and analyze for you in the trine concept. And this is a Kundali or birth chart taken randomly on somebody born on April 21st, 2022 at 6 a.m. And this person's birth chart or natal placements are here for you to see that these are the placement. This is the fate of this person. This is the ascendant or lagna, as we say in Vedic astrology, where we say this is the first house of the 12 houses in the zodiac sign. So wherever the ascendant or lagna falls is where we denote in Vedic astrology your first house. And in this particular chart, we go clockwise from Aries to Pisces so that we'll know where your first to 12th house falls. So your first house is Aries, your 12th house will be Jupiter. And each house in Vedic astrology denotes something. It denotes your wealth, your family, your siblings, your relatives, your children, your marriage, your father, your mother, your work, your career, your community, your luck, your spirituality, your illnesses, whether it's chronic or routine, you know, how you will earn your money, how you will lose your money, a multiplicity of things. And each of these houses has its significations that we read for you in Vedic astrology. So this is your natal chart. This is your fate. You cannot change the positioning of these planets in your Kundali, because this is the placement of the planets when you were born, the time you were born, and the place you were born. However, you cannot change fate, but you can change destiny. And destiny comes from the transit of the planets, because each of these planets, they move from one sign to the next during particular periods. And you can change your destiny through your freedom of expression and will, through your ambition, through your courage, so that you can change destiny. You can't change fate. And the transit of planets will give you a chance to change your destiny. And transits, planets move, as we see here, Saturn every 2.5 years, and so on and so forth. This is how planets move from one sign to the next. Neptune takes 14 years to move from one sign to the next. Mercury takes 1 month. Sun takes 1 month. And you will see these are the 12 planets that I deal with at Zedam Astrology, so that they are the ones that I look at and how they move. And every placement of a planet in a particular sign says something, does something, has an aspect on your natal planet, and it throws out potential or a pathway for you to understand what can be happening. You know, it is the natal chart is a map of what the sky was like on the day for us to know ourselves and to better understand the types of energy we have available for each moment and situation in life. And because of the transits where destiny can be changed, we can say that this placement is not decisive, but it shows options and it marks pathways in which we can utilize to make choices during our lifetime. And then we have the source code of astrology, and that FEAW is basically fire, earth, air, and water. Those are the trines that I look at, and the 4 elements are the source code of astrology, and they are the blueprint of your soul. You know, you become the architect of your destiny by using this blueprint of our soul. And the blueprint of our soul, one of the trines that I use, because it's the foundation, You know, one of the trines that I use is the Dharma Trikona, and the Dharma trine tells you that, you know, this is the trine that keeps us on the soul's mission, the accumulated merit and the manifestation of past karma. And this 159 denotes the houses 1, 5, and 9. And as you see, we have fire, earth, air, and water trines. So this is the source code of astrology. And tradition holds that religious duty, your dharma, is the primary aim of human life. Since it is the foundation which you develop your wisdom and your discretion to pursue wealth, which is artha, which is another trine, happiness, karma, which is a third trine, and we pursue these wealth and happiness from the wisdom we get from dharma, so that we will not compromise our chances of liberation, which is moksha, which is the fourth trine. But I use the first trine because it is the foundation, it is the primary aim of your birth on this earth. And Hinduism describes the Dharma trine as the natural universal laws whose observance enables us to be contented and happy and to save ourselves from degradation and suffering. So that dharma is the moral law combined with spiritual discipline that guides our life. You know, and this is what the dharma trine is. And I'm just going to pull up another version of the zodiac circle, the 12 signs, and I'll just give you an example so that this random Kundalini or birth chart gives you Aries as the ascendant. And with Aries as the ascendant, that will be the first house. The first house will be Aries, the fifth house will be Leo, and the ninth house will be Sagittarius. And this is the trine. So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius is the fire trine. And with the fire trine, even if your first bhava is Leo, then Leo will be your first house, Sagittarius will be your fifth, and Aries will be your ninth. You will still remain in that trine if your ascendant moves from Aries to Leo or Sagittarius. And remember, your ascendant moves every 2.5 hours every day from one zodiac sign to our next in Vedic astrology. And then we have the earth trine, and the earth trine can begin with Taurus. And if it begins with Taurus, then you would have as your fifth house, you will have Virgo. As your ninth house, you will have Capricorn, and this is your earth trine. Then your air trine will be Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. That is your air trine. And obviously your water trine will then be Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, so that all your signs are taken care of there, as you see. So these are the trines. And why I do the horoscope in trines is because Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, when one is activated, each of these are activated because they are in a trine. They are in a dharma trine, a dharma, where your duty, where your vision, where your wisdom are all created for you to understand that first house is you are born, then fifth house is your children, and the ninth house is your father. So you get the circle of evolution. Your father produces you with your mother. Your mother helps you throughout your life. When you are an adult, then you produce children. And that is where you get this circle of evolution, so that the dharma trine here is what connects each of these three signs in the zodiac. And then we have the tarot deck, and the tarot deck as we know it has wands, pentacles, swords, and cups. And you will see that the wands is with fire, the pentacles is earth, and swords are air, and cups are water. So that here now we have the commonality between the tarot deck and the zodiac astrology, the source code of astrology. So that, you know, this is what I find with the commonalities. There are so many other things that I can speak about, but this is the basic. You know, this is the basic. And if we have to talk about, you know, a tarot spread, you know that my go-to tarot spread is the Tetractys. And the Tetractys tarot spread comes from that Greek philosopher Pythagoras, who threw out for us the Pythagoras theorem. And he, you know, he can be viewed as a Vedic Brahmin, because three of the things he did or believed in was that he wore white exclusively, he was a vegetarian, and he believed in reincarnation. And his theorem existed in the Sanskrit texts in India. So that, you know, there we have the commonality again. And then even so, the tarot deck, the fire is clubs, pentacles is diamonds, swords is aligned to spades, and cups is aligned to hearts. So this is where we get the commonalities. This is where I can utilize a union of tarot and Vedic astrology to bring you a complex issue, but a different take on reading your birth chart, because you cannot live by yourself, you weren't born by yourself, and you can't grow up by yourself. There is a community, and that community brings the trine, so that you feel comfortable if you are in the fire trine with people from Leo and Sagittarius if you were born in Aries. Likewise, it goes so for the other trines. So this is my research, this is my method that I use, and I hope I was clear, complete, and concise. I ask that you share, sign up and subscribe, review my videos, look at my transit series, and I will join you next time. Thank you so much. Okay, so this is the trines synergy in Vedic astrology and tarot, you know, how they complement each other and how they have that symbiotic flow that works well with the marriage that I'm bringing to you. And trines are considered positive in Vedic astrology, as energy flows easily between the planets in trine, so that when you activate one, the trine is activated. So when you activate Aries, Leo and Sagittarius are also activated. And if you have planets in those signs, or planets or grahas posited in the nakshatras, those nakshatras with their relative deities and energies are activated, so that this brings more good luck, creative abilities and opportunities in one's life in the areas that these planets affect. Trines are the houses of goddess Lakshmi. And remember, in Vedic astrology, houses or bhavas do not only start at Aries. They can start anywhere, be based on your ascendant or lagna position. And these houses form trines in a tarot reading, those that are at the angles of 120 degrees with each other. The trine in the tarot series 159 signify the present, the past and the future, which is the person himself, his children and his father. So 1 is you, yourself, 5 is your children, and 9 is your father. So this is the circle of evolution. So this is how the tarot and Vedic astrology are symbiotic in terms of the trines. But we also have in Vedic astrology the Kendra Bhavas, which I am not dealing with at this point in time. But you know, it's just for information, for you to understand the level and depth that Vedic astrology can go into, and the many tools that we have at our disposal to assist in your reading or your Kundalini and birth chart when you request one. And these Kendra Bhavas, it enhances the internal strength of an individual. Think about the pillars, you know, the 4 pillars of a room, which are holding it up. That is what these Kendra Bhavas do, you know. This can be the another analytical tool for your birth chart depending on your specific needs from Vedic astrologies. And Kendras are the houses of Lord Vishnu, just as the Trines are the houses of Goddess Lakshmi. And these houses are related to stability, security and savings that overcome the limits of Goddess Lakshmi, which is related to the progress and development of a person but lacks stability. So these houses are 1, 4, 7 and 10, and this is just for your further information.